So the first thing to do is open the project plan template in Excel, and all we've done here is copy all the tasks and the estimated hours from the set task brief into a spreadsheet. So now we need to group all of the tasks together. So we've got all the hardware tasks, so we're upgrading the infrastructure, configuring the server, and then we've got testing the hardware, installing and testing the hardware. And so I'm going to put all those together at the top because they need to be done first, and then we need to sort out the software side of the project. Let's put the user training and acceptance testing down the bottom because that's going to be done after we've developed all the software. And then in the middle of the project, we've got all the software. So each module needs to have a test plan created. We need to develop the module, so we need to write the code for it. And then we need to unit test, integration test, and then test for faults and do regression testing to make sure it all works. We need to do that for each module. And this is what the project plan will look like when it's finished and we've got all the tasks for each of the modules. So in this project, it is assumed that 5 minor faults will be found with each module. We're given estimated hours of fault. So we need to do 5 times 5, which is 25. So in total, it's going to take us 25 hours to repair a minor fault in each module. So for the major faults, it's assumed that a maximum of 3 will be found in each module, and we're given the information that it takes 12 hours per fault to fix and regression test for a major fault. We need to do 12 times 3, which is 36, so it's going to take 36 hours per module. So to do our Gantt chart, we need the duration in days instead of hours. So we're going to create a new column called duration, and then we're told that staff will work 7 hours a day for 5 days a week. So what we need to do is take the number of estimated hours and divide it by 7, and this will give us approximately how long in days it will take. Those are not very good numbers to work with, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the roundup function to round this up to a whole number, so we've got a whole number of days to work with. Create a new column called resources, and this is where we're going to assign our staff to various tasks according to their relevant skills and experience. So whoever you think is best suited for that task, depending on core skills, their experience they've done previously, you can just assign that person to a task. There's no right and wrong answer, there are just better answers. And so, for example, Virgil is the database engineer, so he'd be better suited to tasks that involve databases. And another example we've got here is we are told that Adam has experience in creating user interfaces, so he might be a good fit to develop module 3, which is about the user interface. So I'm going to insert a new column called start day. The first task is upgrading infrastructure. That's going to start on day 1. To work out when we can start the next task, then we need to have the start day plus the duration of the task. So for example, upgrade infrastructure on day 1. We say this takes 5 days, so install and configure the server can start on day 6. You also need to decide what order to develop your modules in. So for example, some modules will be dependent on others. In this case, you need to develop the back-end database before you can start doing the other modules like the customer booking portal and data analysis. So that would need to be done first. And this can take place whilst the hardware is being installed because we don't need the hardware to develop the database. We can do it locally and then transfer it later on when the hardware's set up. We can also move things around and reorganize these modules. They don't have to be developed 1, 2, 3, whatever order you think they need to be developed in. So customer booking will be dependent on the database, so we can do that immediately after we have created the database. We can create the user interface alongside developing module 5 because we've got Flavia working on module 5, and then if we have Adam working on module 3, they can both work on those separately at the same time. For our last 2 modules, we've got Flavia working on both of those, so she can obviously only do one at a time. So she's going to drill up module 2 first, and then when she's done that, she's going to do 4. And then finally, when all the software modules have been developed and are all deployed, then we've got Adam doing the testing and training at the end there. And our project will take a total of 127 days to complete, as it is at the moment. What you need to do is try and work within the time limit that you're given. So in this case, it's 19 weeks. Staff are only working 5 days a week, so that gives us a total of 95 days for the project. So we need to try and fit it into 95 days. I've chosen to have Adam develop module 2 instead, just because he's got more experience than Joanna, so we can just change things around there. The idea is to reduce this to the maximum number of days or less. Next, we need to create the actual Gantt chart, which is basically just inserting a 2D bar chart. Right click on the chart area, select data, and the first one we're going to do is the start date. Series name will be our column name, and the values are all the start days that we've just calculated. Then we also need to add the data for the duration. So we do the same again with the title being the name of the column, and the values are all the values that we calculated earlier. Then we need to edit our labels, and this is going to be our list of tasks. So we just select all of those. Then we need to cut and paste the Gantt chart onto a new sheet and make it bigger so we can read it. Click on the blue bars on the Gantt chart and then right click, select Format Data Series, then click the paint bucket icon and select No Fill and No Line, and this will get rid of the blue bars. Click on the task list so it highlights in a box, then right click Format Axis and then select the tick box that says Categories in Reverse Order. To change the timeline, left click on the timeline at the top and then right click to open the menu and select Format Axis, and then in there we need to set the bounds to 95 because that's the maximum number of days for the project. Select the units to 1, so it'll be split up to 1 day, and then set the minimum to 1 as well, so the project starts on day 1 and not day 0. To colour in the bars, right click on the bar and then select fill. You might want to make that a dark colour so it stands out. We can make each resource a different colour so we can clearly see who has been assigned to what task in the Gantt chart. We can also insert a text label by clicking insert in text box and then labelling each resource with the person's name, so again we can clearly see who has been assigned which task. And this is an example of what the Gantt chart should look like when it's finished. To save the Gantt chart as a PDF, we need to change the page layout to landscape and have narrow margins. Save the project plan as an Excel sheet and then save as an Adobe PDF.